What if just 60 minutes every morning could completely change your life? Most people wake up and immediately give their attention to stress, distractions, and endless notifications. But the Stoics believed that the first moments of your day determine everything that follows. In this video, you'll discover 10 powerful Stoic morning habits that can help you build discipline, sharpen your focus, and take control of your mind before the world takes control of you. If you want more success, more clarity, and more inner strength, start by winning the morning. Let's begin. Every morning is a new opportunity to begin again. According to Stoic philosophy, the quality of life is not determined by external circumstances, but by how we respond to them. This means that while you cannot control everything that happens throughout the day, you can always control your thoughts, attitudes, and actions. Many people wake up and immediately allow anxiety, social media, or external pressures to dominate their minds. They start the day in a reactive state and gradually lose control over their lives. In contrast, a Stoic-minded person understands that true power comes from mastering oneself during the very first moments of the morning. Morning is not merely the beginning of a new day. It is the foundation for every result that follows. When you start with discipline, focus, and a clear sense of purpose, you create positive momentum that carries through the entire day. The small actions repeated each morning gradually shape your character, habits, and ultimately your future. The core message is simple: master your morning, and you master your life. When you gain control over yourself, you no longer allow circumstances to determine your path. Instead, you become the one who chooses the direction of your own journey. Every morning is a fresh start and an opportunity to set the direction for your entire day. The first thoughts and actions you have after waking up carry more influence than you might realize. If you begin your day with distraction, anxiety, or procrastination, you can easily lose control of your time and energy. On the other hand, when you start with clarity, discipline, and a clear purpose, you build a strong foundation for success. Stoic philosophers believed that true power does not come from controlling circumstances, but from controlling yourself. The morning is the ideal time to practice this principle. A small decision, such as waking up on time, focusing on what truly matters, or avoiding distractions, can create significant changes over time. If you want to change your life, start by mastering each morning. Today is yours. Every morning when you open your eyes, life gives you a priceless gift, a new day. It is a completely fresh 24 hours, unused, undecided, and impossible for anyone to take away from you. Yet there is something unique about this gift. It exists only today. When the sun sets, it is gone forever, whether you made the most of it or wasted it. This is why Stoic philosophers placed such great importance on time. They understood that people often live as if they have an endless supply of tomorrows. We postpone important tasks, wait for the perfect moment, and tell ourselves that we will start later. But the truth is that no one knows how many mornings remain ahead. Seneca once wrote that life is not short. We simply waste much of it. His words serve as a powerful reminder that the problem is not a lack of time. It is our failure to appreciate the time we already have. Look at how most people begin their day. The moment they wake up, they think about unfinished pressures from yesterday or worries about what might happen today. They reach for their phones, scroll through social media, and allow hundreds of unnecessary pieces of information to occupy their minds. Within just a few minutes, they have already surrendered control of their new day. A person guided by Stoic principles chooses a different path. They wake up with gratitude and the awareness that today is an opportunity that will never come again. Instead of focusing on things beyond their control, they focus on the one thing they can truly master: their actions in the present moment. Start each morning with a simple reminder: today is mine. Not yesterday, because it is gone. Not tomorrow, because it has not arrived. Only today is truly yours. Once you recognize the value of today, the way you live begins to change. You procrastinate less, complain less, and waste less time on meaningless distractions. You become more proactive in your work, more decisive in your actions, and more present in every moment. Life is built from a series of small days connected together. If you learn to value and make good use of today, you are gradually building a meaningful life. Remember that every sunrise is a fresh beginning, and every day is a chance to become a better version of yourself than you were yesterday. Today is yours. Do not let it pass by unconsciously.
Embrace it, live it fully, and make it a day worth remembering.
2. Your thoughts shape your day. Before you step out of bed, before you begin your work or face any challenge the day may bring, an important battle has already taken place within your mind. It is the battle between positive and negative thoughts, between confidence and fear, between hope and doubt. The outcome of that battle often determines how the rest of your day will unfold. Stoic philosophers deeply understood the power of thought. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that the quality of our lives depends on the quality of our thoughts. It is not circumstances, money, or what other people say about you that determines your happiness. It is how you think about those things. Many people wake up with minds filled with worry. They think about the difficulties waiting ahead, past failures, or all the things that could go wrong. Within the first few minutes of a new day, they have already built a mental prison for themselves. No real problem has appeared yet, but their minds have already made them feel exhausted and uneasy. Seneca once said that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. How many times have you worried about something that never happened? How many times have you doubted yourself, only to discover that you were fully capable of overcoming the challenge? Most of our fears exist only in our minds. That is why Stoics learn to observe their thoughts carefully. They do not automatically believe everything that appears in their minds. When a negative thought arises, they pause and ask themselves, is this really true? Or is this thought helping me or holding me back? This awareness prevents them from being controlled by fear and emotion. Every morning, you have the power to choose how you will view the day ahead. You can focus on obstacles, or you can focus on opportunities. You can dwell on yesterday's mistakes, or you can direct your attention toward what you can do better today. Thoughts are like seeds planted in the mind. Positive, strong, and purposeful thoughts lead to positive actions. Negative thoughts, on the other hand, weaken your willpower and drain your energy. Over time, those seeds grow and shape the person you become. That is why you should spend a few minutes each morning guiding your mind in the right direction. Remind yourself that you are not controlled by fear or circumstances. You have the power to choose your thoughts. And when you master your thoughts, you master your actions. When you master your actions, you master your life. 3. Let go of yesterday. One of the greatest burdens people carry each day is not work, responsibility, or the pressures of life. It is the past. Many people wake up in the morning, yet their minds remain trapped in yesterday. They think about mistakes they made, opportunities they missed, words they wish they had never spoken, or things they should have done better. Instead of stepping into a new day with freedom, they carry an invisible backpack filled with regret and self-blame. Stoic philosophy teaches that the past is beyond our control. No one can turn back time to correct a mistake or change a decision that has already been made. No matter how many hundreds or thousands of times you think about it, the past remains unchanged. The only thing that changes is your peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to focus on the present moment, not because the past was unimportant, but because clinging to it causes us to lose the power of today. Every sunrise is an opportunity to begin again. Yet many people reject that opportunity because they are still living in old stories. It is important to understand the difference between learning and tormenting yourself. Learning means looking back at mistakes, extracting the lesson, and becoming better because of it. Tormenting yourself means repeatedly replaying those mistakes as evidence that you are not good enough. One mindset helps you grow, the other keeps you trapped. Perhaps you failed in a project. Perhaps you lost an important opportunity. Perhaps you made a poor decision or hurt someone you care about. Those things happened and they cannot be changed. But that does not mean they must define you forever. You are not your failures. You are not your greatest mistakes. You are a person who is learning, growing, and continuing to move forward. Epictetus taught that it is not events themselves that cause our suffering, but our interpretation of those events. The story you keep telling yourself about the past is often what holds you back. If you continue believing that you are not capable enough, not strong enough, or unable to change, you create invisible limits that restrict your life. The Stoics understood that every present moment is an opportunity to start again. They did not deny the mistakes of the past, but neither did they allow those mistakes to control the future. They accepted what had happened, learned the necessary lessons, and focused all their energy on what they could do right now. Each morning, ask yourself, is there anything from yesterday that I am still carrying? If the answer is yes, learn to put it down. Forgiving yourself does not mean denying your mistakes. It means allowing yourself to continue growing. Forgiving others is not because they deserve it. It is because you deserve peace. Life does not happen in the past. It is happening right now. Every new day is a blank page waiting for you to continue writing your story. Do not allow old chapters to prevent you from creating a better new one. Leave yesterday behind and allow today to become an opportunity for change, growth, and a stronger new beginning. 4. Control your mind first. If there is one principle that Stoic philosophers consistently emphasized, it is the power of the mind. Everything in life begins there. Your emotions, your actions, the decisions you make, and ultimately the results you achieve are all shaped by what is happening within your mind. Yet many people begin their day by handing control of their minds over to others. The moment they wake up, they reach for their phones, check messages, scroll through social media, or consume negative news. Within just a few minutes, their minds are pulled in dozens of different directions. Worries, pressures, and emotions from the outside world quickly take over. They're focused before they even have a chance to take control of themselves. Stoic philosophy teaches that true power does not come from controlling what happens outside of us, but from controlling how we respond to it. Epictetus taught that we have power over our minds, not over external events. Once we truly understand this, we discover genuine strength and inner peace. Controlling your mind does not mean forcing yourself to think positively all the time or eliminating every negative emotion. That is unrealistic. Instead, it means becoming aware of the thoughts that arise and choosing whether they deserve your attention. Every day, thousands of thoughts pass through our minds. Some help us grow, but many are nothing more than fears, doubts, or old mental habits repeating themselves. If we are not mindful, we unconsciously believe them and allow them to dictate our actions. That is why the morning is the most important time to master your mind. When you first wake up, your mind is still quiet and has not yet been heavily influenced by the outside world. This is your opportunity to set the direction for the day ahead. Spend a few moments in stillness, take a deep breath, and remind yourself of what truly matters. Decide who you want to be today: calmer, more patient, more focused, or stronger. Marcus Aurelius often prepared his mind early in the morning by reminding himself that he would encounter difficult, selfish, or uninformed people throughout the day. He did not do this to be pessimistic, but to avoid being surprised when such situations arose. When the mind is prepared, circumstances lose their power to disturb inner calm. When you gain control of your mind at the beginning of the day, everything else becomes easier. You do not overreact to minor difficulties. You do not allow a single setback to ruin your entire day. You maintain the clarity needed to make better decisions. Remember that your mind is the most valuable asset you possess. If you do not take charge of it, circumstances will do it for you. But when you learn to control your attention, your thoughts, and your reactions, you become the master of your own life. And it all begins with one simple decision each morning: control your mind first. To start strong, finish even stronger. There is a simple yet incredibly powerful principle in life. The way you begin often determines the way you finish. A morning filled with energy, focus, and discipline creates positive momentum that can carry you throughout the entire day. On the other hand, if you begin with procrastination, laziness, and distraction, it becomes much harder to regain your rhythm once half the day has already passed. Stoic philosophers clearly understood the power of a strong beginning. They did not wait for inspiration to arrive before taking action. They believed that action creates motivation, not the other way around. That is why they approached each new day with a clear purpose and unwavering determination. Imagine the morning as the first push of a large wheel. The initial rotations may feel difficult, but once the wheel is moving, everything becomes easier. Life works the same way. One positive action at the start of the day can trigger a chain of positive actions that follow. Starting strong does not mean doing something extraordinary. Sometimes it is as simple as waking up on time, making your bed, exercising for a few minutes, reading a few pages of a book, or completing your most important task before getting pulled into everything else. The significance lies not in the size of the action, but in the message you send to yourself. I am in control of today. Seneca advised us to live each day as if it were a life of its own. This means that every morning is a fresh opportunity to begin with the best version of yourself. Rather than drifting into the day passively and without direction, identify what matters most and start working on it early. However, a strong start is only half the journey. Many people begin with enthusiasm, but quickly lose momentum when difficulties arise. They create ambitious plans, but give up before reaching the finish line. That is not the Stoic way. Stoics believed in perseverance and consistency. They understood that the value of a day is determined not only by how it begins, but also by how it ends. True discipline reveals itself when you continue taking action even after the initial excitement has faded, when the work becomes repetitive, or when challenges prove harder than expected. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that his duty was not to seek comfort, but to do what was right. The same principle applies to all of us. Finish what you committed to. Keep the promises you make to yourself. Do not quit simply because things become difficult. Each day, ask yourself two simple questions. How will I begin today? And how do I want to end today? When you start with a clear purpose and finish with persistence, you build a habit far more powerful than any temporary burst of motivation. Remember, success is not built on occasional moments of intense effort. It is created through days when you start strong, maintain your focus, and finish with unwavering determination. That is the path to building a life you can be proud of and becoming a person who never stops growing. 6. Take action now. Don't wait. One of the most dangerous enemies of personal growth is not failure. It is procrastination. It does not appear as an obvious threat, does not force you to abandon your goals. Instead, it quietly whispers, "You can do it tomorrow." And that seemingly harmless sentence has caused countless dreams, plans, and opportunities to slip away. Stoic philosophers deeply understood the value of time. They knew that time is the one asset that, once lost, can never be recovered. That is why they did not live in a state of waiting. They acted when opportunities arose and focused on what could be done in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that life is finite. Every passing day is a portion of life moving farther away from us. This was not a pessimistic thought, but a reminder to live with greater urgency and purpose. Once you recognize that time is limited, you stop postponing the things that truly matter. Many people spend their entire lives waiting. They wait for the perfect moment, for enough money, enough experience, enough confidence, or ideal circumstances. The problem is that the perfect moment rarely arrives. While they continue waiting, opportunities quietly pass by and life keeps moving forward. Stoics did not believe in perfection. They believed in action. They understood that taking one small step today is always better than standing still while waiting for some ideal future. Action itself creates clarity, experience, and confidence. Many anxieties exist because we spend too much time thinking and too little time acting. When we remain inactive, the mind tends to exaggerate difficulties and imagine negative outcomes. But once we begin to act, even with a small step, we often realize that things are not nearly as frightening as we imagined. That is why Stoics emphasize the power of small but consistent actions. You do not need to change your entire life in a single day. You simply need to start. Perhaps that means writing one page of a book, completing an important task, exercising for a few minutes, or making a phone call you have been postponing for weeks. A small action taken today is always more valuable than a perfect plan that is never executed. Epictetus taught that great achievements do not appear overnight. They are built through actions repeated day after day. Every time you choose action over procrastination, you strengthen your confidence and trust in yourself. You prove that you are someone who keeps promises made to yourself. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is taking action despite fear. A strong person is not someone who always feels ready. A strong person is someone who starts even when they are not completely ready. Every morning is an opportunity to practice this mindset. Do not ask when the best time to begin will be. The best time is always now. Take action today, because every small step is moving you closer to the person you want to become. Focus creates energy. Many people believe they need more energy in order to focus. But in reality, the opposite is often true. Focus creates energy. When the mind is scattered by too many thoughts, too many tasks, and too many distractions, we quickly become exhausted, stressed, and unmotivated. On the other hand, when our full attention is directed toward a single task, we experience clarity, strength, and a seemingly endless source of energy. Stoic philosophers understood this principle well. They believed that a divided mind is a weakened mind. When we constantly shift our attention from one thing to another, we not only waste time, but also drain our precious mental energy. Distraction is the reason many people stay busy all day yet accomplish very little that truly matters. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself to devote his full attention to the task at hand with sincerity and discipline, not to what happened yesterday, not to what might happen tomorrow, only to what stood before him in the present moment. It is a simple principle, yet an incredibly powerful one. In the modern world, focus has become one of the most valuable assets a person can possess. From the moment we wake up, our phones, social media feeds, emails, news updates, and countless notifications compete for our attention. Every time we surrender to these distractions, a portion of our mental energy is taken away. Stoics understood that attention is a limited resource. You cannot focus on everything at once. That is why it is essential to be intentional about where you direct your attention. Wherever your attention goes, your energy follows. And wherever your energy flows, results are created. One of the most common mistakes people make is trying to do multiple things at the same time. We assume multitasking saves time, but in reality, it lowers the quality of our work and exhausts the mind more quickly. Seneca observed that when we try to be everywhere, we end up truly present nowhere. True power lies in the ability to focus completely on one thing at a time. When you work, simply work. When you study, simply study. When you rest, truly rest. Being fully present in each moment allows the mind to function more effectively and significantly reduces stress. Every morning, ask yourself one simple question. What is the single most important thing I need to accomplish today? Then dedicate your best hours and highest energy to that task. Do not allow minor distractions and unimportant activities to consume the most valuable part of your day. Focus is not only the secret to productivity, it is also the secret to peace of mind. When your thoughts are no longer pulled into the past or consumed by worries about the future, you become stronger, clearer, and more energized. And from that focus, you will create results far beyond what you once believed possible. 8. Small victories create great success. When people think about success, they often imagine major turning points, life-changing moments, or achievements that earn admiration from others. But according to Stoic philosophy, true success is rarely created by a single dramatic event. Instead, it is built day by day, through small actions and seemingly insignificant choices. What separates a person who continues to grow from one who remains stuck is not extraordinary talent or exceptional luck. It is the ability to consistently accumulate small victories. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, complete a task on time, or overcome laziness to do what needs to be done, you achieve a small victory. Over time, those victories compound into remarkable results. Stoic philosophers understood that people do not transform overnight. Marcus Aurelius did not become a respected emperor because of one single decision. He built his character through daily discipline, right actions, and a continuous commitment to self-improvement. Greatness does not come from extraordinary acts performed once. It comes from doing the right things repeatedly. Many people fail not because their goals are too ambitious, but because they underestimate the power of small steps. They want immediate results and become discouraged when progress is slower than expected. Yet nature teaches us a different lesson. A mighty tree does not grow in a single day. It begins as a tiny seed, nurtured day after day until it becomes strong enough to reach great heights. Life follows the same principle. Waking up on time can be a small victory. Spending 10 minutes reading can be a small victory. Completing an important task instead of procrastinating is another small victory. Every positive action sends a powerful message to your mind. I am a person who takes action and makes progress. Over time, these small victories do more than change your results. They transform the way you see yourself. You begin to build confidence. You trust your abilities more deeply. You stop relying on temporary bursts of motivation and instead depend on habits formed through days, weeks, and months of consistency. Seneca emphasized that genuine progress is the result of continuous effort. No one becomes physically strong from exercising once. No one becomes wise from reading a single book. All growth comes from repeating the right actions over a long period of time. Each morning, focus on securing a few small victories. Do not worry about conquering the entire world in a single day. Complete the task in front of you. Remain disciplined with your positive habits and keep moving forward one step at a time. The greatest achievements in life are often built from the smallest actions, actions that many people overlook or dismiss. Remember that a great life is not created by rare moments of inspiration. It is built through thousands of small victories accumulated day after day. And those small victories become the foundation for every great success that follows. 9. Discipline brings freedom. When people hear the word discipline, they often think of restriction, pressure, and rigid rules. They assume that freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. However, Stoic philosophers viewed the matter very differently. To them, discipline was not the enemy of freedom. On the contrary, discipline was the path to true freedom. Consider the lives of people who lack discipline. They wake up based on how they feel, work according to their moods, and make decisions driven by temporary emotions. If they feel motivated today, they take action. If they lose interest tomorrow, they quit. On the surface, this may appear to be freedom, but in reality, they are being controlled by laziness, procrastination, and short-term desires. Stoics understood that if you do not control yourself, something else will control you. It may be your emotions, your anger, your fears, bad habits, or the temptation of immediate pleasures. When that happens, you are no longer the master of your own life. Epictetus taught that freedom begins with self-mastery. This means having the ability to do what needs to be done, even when you do not feel like doing it. This is the foundation of discipline. Discipline is not about forcing yourself to live a miserable life. It is the ability to choose what benefits you in the long run, instead of constantly chasing short-term comfort. Think of an athlete striving for excellence. He must wake up early, train consistently, and maintain a disciplined lifestyle. In the short term, this may seem difficult. Yet it is precisely that discipline that gives him health, confidence, and the ability to achieve his goals. That is freedom. The same principle applies to other areas of life. A financially disciplined person does not spend money based on emotion. They manage their finances wisely and build a more secure future. A disciplined worker does not allow procrastination to destroy opportunities. A disciplined thinker does not allow negative emotions to dictate every decision. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that his duty was to live according to his values, not to pursue comfort. He understood that greatness is not built on temporary inspiration, but on right actions repeated consistently over time. The interesting thing is that the more disciplined you become, the easier life often feels. You no longer spend your days battling procrastination. You waste less time making unnecessary decisions. You know what needs to be done, and you commit yourself to doing it. This creates the sense of peace and control that so many people seek. Every morning is an opportunity to strengthen your discipline. Wake up on time, complete your most important task, keep the promises you make to yourself, Do not allow emotions alone to determine your actions. These small practices may not produce immediate results, but over time they build a strong, reliable, and resilient character. Remember, freedom is not the ability to do whatever you want. Freedom is the ability to do what is necessary to create the life you truly want. And the path to that freedom always begins with discipline. 10. You are the one who decides today. Every time a new day begins, you stand before an important truth that many people forget. No one can live your life for you. No one can make your choices for you. And no one is responsible for the outcome of your life except you. This is one of the core principles of Stoic philosophy, the spirit of taking complete responsibility for yourself. Many people spend much of their lives blaming circumstances. They believe they are unsuccessful because their environment is unfavorable, because others do not support them, or because life is unfair. While those challenges may sometimes be real, focusing on things outside your control only makes you feel more powerless. Stoic philosophers taught that life consists of two categories of things. The first includes everything we cannot control: the weather, the past, other people's actions, unexpected events, and changing circumstances. The second includes everything we can control: our thoughts, attitudes, choices, and actions. Weak people spend their energy complaining about the first category. Strong people devote their energy entirely to the second. Marcus Aurelius faced wars, plagues, and the immense pressures of governing a vast empire. Yet instead of complaining about what could not be changed, he continually asked himself, "What is the right thing I can do in this situation?" That question helped him maintain calmness and inner strength during the most difficult periods of his life. Every morning, life gives you the power to choose how you will respond to whatever happens during the day. You can allow criticism to make you angry, or you can choose to remain calm. You can let a small failure ruin your entire day, or you can treat it as a lesson that helps you grow. You can become a victim of circumstances, or you can become the master of your response. The difference between these two types of people is not found in the circumstances they face. It lies in how they think and act in response to those circumstances. Stoics understood that true power does not come from controlling the outside world. True power comes from controlling yourself. When you master your emotions, thoughts, and actions, you are no longer easily shaken by what happens around you. Every day brings its own challenges. Some things will unfold exactly as planned, while others will not go as expected at all. Yet regardless of what happens, you always retain one power that no one can take away from you: the power to choose your response. That is where true freedom begins. So, when you wake up each morning, remind yourself that today is a new opportunity. Do not hand control of your life over to circumstances, emotions, or other people. Be intentional about how you will think, act, and live today, because in the end, your life is not shaped by what happens to you. It is shaped by how you choose to respond to what happens to you. And the person holding the steering wheel today is no one else but you. As we come to the end of this video, remember this: your life is not changed by one big decision. It is shaped by the small choices you make every single day. The way you start your morning determines how you think, how you act, and ultimately, who you become. By practicing these 10 Stoic habits, you are not just building a better morning routine. You are building a stronger mind, greater discipline, and a more meaningful life. Tomorrow morning is another opportunity, another chance to take control of your thoughts, your actions, and your future. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start with one habit, stay consistent, and let small improvements create extraordinary results over time. If you found value in this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Stoic wisdom and self-improvement content. Thank you for watching, and remember, win the morning. Master your mind. Transform your life. See you in the next video.